Wait a second. All those guys, Obama top aides, NBC's Chuck Todd, they said Biden should run again for the sake of America. Now they're hammering him for pardoning Hunter Biden. Chuck Todd calls Biden selfish, says that Hunter Biden turned Beau Biden's widow into a crack addict. And now California Governor Gavin Newsom says Biden was wrong to pardon Hunter. Let's welcome to the show legal scholar and author. He's one of the sharpest minds out there, Jonathan Turley. It's a pleasure. We love having you on the show, Jonathan. What do you make of this? Do the Bidens really think they're above the law? I mean, Biden pardoned Hunter for potential crimes not even charged yet over an 11-year period dating back to 2014.
Well, they don't think they're above the law. They are above the law. I mean, they've succeeded in evading legal responsibility over and over again. They are the best at this. You know, this is a city where influence peddling is the favorite form of corruption. But no one has ever seen the likes of the Biden family. I mean, they have made this a virtual art form. And this pardon finally seals it. You know, the president lied to the public when he was a candidate, swore that he would not even consider pardoning his son. And then shortly before his son was going to be sentenced, shortly before he would leave office, he did exactly that. He also lied to the American public about not knowing about business deals of his son, never meeting his business associates. That was in the last presidential election. And in a strange way, the president often sounds like he thinks that telling a lie that no one believes is as good as telling the truth. And that's what we're seeing here. I mean, this pardon is like nothing we've seen before. It took language from the Nixon pardon, but it's actually a period twice as long as the Nixon period, and it pardons Hunter Biden for crimes that many people believe the president could be implicated in, because he's pardoned for anything that happened in that 10-year period, from money laundering to murder. And so that's going to cover all those influence peddling allegations. And those are the very allegations that touch on the president himself.
It's, you know, this is, critics keep saying this is one of the most abnormal presidencies we've ever seen. D.C. has never seen a corruption scandal the likes of this. The media is not covering this. Now we've got the news coming in, Mr. Turley, that Politico's reporting that Joe Biden preemptively wants to pardon Liz Cheney and Adam Schiff. What do you make of that? Is that an admission they committed crimes?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. I mean, once you get started at this, pardons become virtual party favors, and you just hand them out. I don't think that's the way a president should act. I have no reason to believe that Liz Cheney or Schiff would be subject to any type of criminal prosecution.
Right.
One of the questions is whether he's going to pardon his brother. You know, the problem with this pardon is that you can't leave any vulnerable spots. The House has an ongoing investigation, and if Hunter gets called before the House and he lies, that would be a new crime outside the period covered by the pardon. So this doesn't eliminate entirely the risk. But I don't know what, you know, I think the suggestion of pardoning some of these figures is really to portray the idea that if he hadn't done that, Trump would have laid waste to all of his political opponents. But I don't know of any crime anyone has suggested that would be prosecuted.
That's right. Is it lawful? Who knows? I mean, we've got this news, too. What do you make of the Trump team moving today to toss out DA Fani Willis's 2020 case against Trump in Georgia? The Trump team using Joe Biden's own words against basically what's going on. Biden himself admitted there is political bias at the DOJ. In his pardon of Hunter, Biden claimed, quote, Hunter was selectively prosecuted. Raw politics infected this process. The Trump team is saying, OK, he's admitting the DOJ is biased. There's lawfare going on.
Yeah, I don't think that dog will hunt. I don't think that's the type of argument that you're going to get a dismissal on. But that case, I've said from the outset, is absurd. It's like a RICO conspiracy I've never seen before against Trump. There are some valid criminal allegations against some people in that case, but they're relatively minor. But the effort to bag Trump in that case is suffering from serious legal deficiencies. And I just don't see how that ultimately we hold together against Trump on appeal.
Big fan of Jonathan Turley. We love his writing and that brilliant mind of his. Thank you so much, Mr. Turley. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. You too.